If you are buying or selling a home in Texas, the purchase contract is a document that controls the entire deal. But here is the good news. You do not need to memorize every paragraph to understand what matters. The easiest way to understand a Texas purchase contract is to put it into 5 simple buckets: money, timeline, risk, property details, and exit rights. If you understand those 5 buckets, the contract becomes a lot less intimidating. And more importantly, you can make better decisions before you sign. I'm Mark Marish with Paragon Realty Advisors, and in this video, we're going to break down the Texas home purchase contract in plain English. This is not legal advice, and we are not attorneys. If you have legal questions, you should speak with a qualified Texas real estate attorney. But from a real-world real estate standpoint, this is how buyers and sellers should think about the contract before they commit. Let's start with the big idea. A purchase contract is not just a price. Most people look at an offer and immediately focus on that number. How much is the buyer offering? Is it full price? Is it over list? Is it under list? That number matters, but is only part of the contract. A strong contract is not just a high price. A strong contract is a combination of price, terms, timing, financing, appraisal risk, inspection strategy, closing date, possession, and buyer's ability to actually close. So instead of asking what is the price, the better question is what is the full deal? That brings us to the first bucket, which is money. The money bucket includes things like the sale price, the earnest money, option fee, financing, cash to close, seller concessions, and any other financial terms that affect the transaction. For buyers, this is where you need to understand the difference between what the home costs to buy and what it costs to live with. Contract may say that the price is $600,000, but the real cost includes things like your down payment, closing costs, property taxes, insurance, HOA dues, repairs, moving expenses, and ongoing maintenance. In DFW, this matters a lot because property taxes and insurance can change the monthly payment dramatically. For sellers, the money bucket is not just the offer price, it is the net. A buyer may offer a strong price, but ask for seller concessions. They may ask for a price reduction later after the inspection. They may have financing that creates appraisal risk. They may need closing cost help. So the seller has to look at the entire structure. The best offer is not always the highest offer. It is the offer with the best combination of price, certainty, and terms. Let's move on to bucket 2, which is the timeline. Once a contract becomes effective, the clock starts. This is one of the most important things to understand. The contract creates deadlines. There may be deadlines for things like earnest money, appraisal options, financing approval, title review, survey review, objections, closing, and possession. And these deadlines are not casual. They are part of the agreement. For buyers, this means you need to act quickly. If you have an option period, schedule your inspections immediately. If your lender needs documents, respond quickly. If the title company needs information, do not wait. If the appraisal is required, stay in communication with your lender. For sellers, the timeline matters because your home is off the active market while the buyer is working through these deadlines. That means the strength of the buyer, the length of the option period, and the realism of the closing date all matter. A contract with a clean timeline can create confidence. A contract with a loose or unrealistic timing can create stress. The third bucket is the risk. This is where the contract really matters. The biggest risk areas are things like inspection, financing, appraisal, title, survey, repairs, and default. Let's use a simple example. A buyer gets a home under contract in North Dallas. They love the house. The seller is happy with the price. Everybody feels good. Then the inspection comes back with roof concerns, HVAC age, and drainage issues. At the same time, the lender orders the appraisal. The appraisal comes in lower than the contract price. Now the deal is no longer just about whether the buyer likes the house, it is about risk. Who handles the repairs? Does the seller adjust the price? Does the buyer bring more cash? Does the financing still work? Is the buyer protected? Is the seller willing to renegotiate? That is where the contract structure matters. Good contracts do not eliminate risk, they organize it. They define what rights each side has, what deadlines apply, and what options are available. For buyers, the goal is to understand what protections you have before you need them. For sellers, the goal is to understand where the buyer still has a right to renegotiate or terminate. Then we get to bucket number 4, which is the property details. So the fourth bucket is the property itself. This includes a legal description, what stays with the house, what does not stay, survey issues, title issues, HOA documents, leases, fixtures, accessories, and exclusions. This is where small assumptions can become frustrating. Does the refrigerator stay? What about the mounted TV? What about the security cameras, curtains, smart devices, garage storage, and outdoor equipment? A buyer may assume something stays because it looks attached or because they saw it during the showings. A seller may assume they are taking it because they paid for it. The contract should remove ambiguity. If something matters, put it in writing. The same is true for title and survey matters. The buyer is not just buying the house, they are buying the legal rights connected to the property. A survey may reveal easements, encroachments, setbacks, fence issues, or other conditions that affect how a property can be used. Most buyers do not get excited about the survey and the title commitments, but those documents can matter after closing. So the fifth bucket has to do with exit rights. This is where the buyers and sellers need to understand how someone can get out of the contract and what may happen if they do. The option period is one common exit right for buyers. Financing protections may be another, depending on the structure. Title objections may create other rights, and if one side defaults, the contract may provide remedies. The key is that the exit rights are not unlimited forever. They are tied to deadlines, conditions, and contract language. So for buyers, this means you should know when you can terminate and what happens if you do. And for sellers, this means you should know how long the buyer has for certain protections and when the deal becomes more secure. This is why under contract does not mean done. It means that parties have agreed to move forward under a specific set of rules. Now let's put this into a real-world scenario. Let's say a buyer offers $625,000 on a home in Plano. They put down earnest money, they negotiate an option period. They are using financing, the seller accepts. At first, everyone focuses on the $625,000 price, but the real story is in the 5 buckets. First, money. Can the buyer afford the cash to close and monthly payment? Second, timeline. Can they complete inspections, financing, appraisal, title, and closing on time? Thirdly, we got risk. What happens if inspection or appraisal creates a problem? Then we have the property details. What stays, what goes, and what are there in terms of title and survey issues? And finally, we have the exit rights. When can the buyer terminate, and when is the earnest money potentially at risk? That is the framework. Now, here are a few red flags. A buyer who has not spoken seriously with a lender. A seller who only focuses on price and ignores terms. A contract with unclear exclusions. An unrealistic closing date. A long option period with little commitment. Or a buyer stretching financially with no room for appraisal or repair issues. And special provisions that are vague or trying to do something that they should be handled by a proper addendum or an attorney. Now, here are some green flags. A buyer who is fully pre-approved. A contract with clean deadlines. Clear financing terms, meaningful earnest money and option fee. Clear inclusions and exclusions, a realistic closing date, and a seller who understands the buyer's risk points. And both sides having a strategy before the problems appear. Before signing a Texas purchase contract, buyers should ask, do I understand the total cost? Do I understand all my deadlines? Do I know what inspections I need? Do I understand appraisal risk? Do I know when I can terminate? Do I know what happens if I miss a deadline? And sellers should ask, is this buyer financially strong? Are the timelines reasonable? Is the appraisal risk manageable? Are the concessions clear? Are the exclusions clear? Am I choosing the best contract or just the highest price? The point is not to make the contract scary. The point is to make it understandable. At Paragon, we do not expect clients to memorize every paragraph. We help them understand a framework, which is money, timeline, risk, property details, and exit rights. If you understand those 5 buckets, you are in a much stronger position to sign with confidence. If you are buying or selling in the Dallas-Fort Worth and want help understanding the contract before you commit, reach out to us at Paragon Realty Advisors at www.paragondfw.com. If you found this video helpful, please make sure you give it a thumbs up, hit the subscribe button and notification bell so you'll have access to all current and future content. And as always, make sure you leave us a comment below. We read every one. Thank you for joining us on this video, and we look forward to seeing you in the next one. All the best.